Hey, what's up, everybody? Marcos Vegas for Fight Up TV here in Los Angeles, being joined with Robert Garcia, whose fighter Vergil Ortiz is taking on Serhii Bohachuk coming up August 10th in Las Vegas. Love this fight, Robert. Great fan-friendly, style-wise fight. You know, how violent is this fight going to be, in your opinion?
Man, it's going to be a war. You know, as long as it lasts, because I don't see it going the distance either. You know, so whatever it could end in the first round. It could go to the later rounds. It's going to be a war. It's on paper. It's going to be a war, definitely.
So Vergil was supposed to face Tim August 3rd. He's on this card a week later. Was there at all any attempt to wait to get that Tim Tszyu fight, or you wanted to keep him active?
There was no attempt of waiting. Definitely, the first thing right after we found out that Tim wasn't going to be able to perform, right away a replacement. But if not, a new date. And look, Golden Boy did their job. Rick Marigan pushed hard. This is perfect. 1 week later, now Vergil's the main event. Las Vegas, Mandalay Bay. I think things happen for a reason. I think we're in a better moment, better position now. You know, it would be nice to be on the big card on the 3rd, but Crawford was already the main event. So now that we're fighting for the world title on our own card, main event, Mandalay Bay, I just think it's just better, way better for Vergil, for the team, for all of us, even for Golden Boy.
Yeah, I was hoping you guys would still be on that card. Like, was there an attempt to keep you guys on the card still?
There was. There were actually mentioning a few names, but you know, when the title fight came up, you know, a week later, you know, there was no thinking about it. We're like, right away, let's do it. Let's move to 1 week after. It doesn't matter. We're gonna, you know, it's for the world title, so why not?
How's Vergil been since the fallout of the Tim Tszyu fight? I know he did an interview with us, and he said he's not frustrated anymore, but back then he said he was a little frustrated that Crawford was getting the shot. But how have you seen him?
Well, you know what? He's ready mentally. You know, the kid is one of those kids that will fight anybody. Yes, you know, fighting a big name like Tim Tszyu, everybody was excited. He was excited. He wanted that fight. But things happen for a reason. You know, Tim Tszyu obviously with a big cut, you know, wasn't allowed to fight. We can't blame him either. It's not like he didn't want to fight. He would fight. So, you know, he has Vergil, the team. We all have to understand that. That's just part of boxing. You know, Tim Tszyu fight could come later in the year, maybe next year. It's still there. So, you know, we just have to motivate Vergil to continue training hard for this fight, because this fight is not for a world title. So it's maybe as big as fighting Tim Tszyu.
Do you see this like similar to Tim Tszyu? Is this like I don't know, like a very similar style-wise fight to a Tim Tszyu fight?
Well, it is similar, but I think with Tim Tszyu, we could have expected maybe a little more boxing, counter-punching. I think with Bohachuk, we're not going to see that. We're going to see him coming to fight, and so is Vergil. So it'll be a war.
Does he remind you at all, Bohachuk, of Brandon, style-wise?
Similar. I think this guy's just too much, way stronger. Obviously, at different
bigger weight. Yeah.
Yeah, but even I think this guy's he has. I think Sergey has one punch power. I think Brandon was more of a accumulation of punches. Yes. Yes.
How is Brandon, by the way?
He's doing good. I talk to him a lot. You know, he's you know, he's enjoying his family. He's got his kids. You know, obviously doing the work of a dad. You know, raising his kids, sports, and all that. So he's doing good.
That's good to hear, man. I'm glad that things worked out for him in the end. Robert, the Ryan Garcia tweeting and everything like that. Talk to Oscar, talk to Vergil. They said both that fight is possible. I know I talked to you about it, but it's just funny when you guys tweeted and you're like, hey, pull up. Did he ever get back to you?
You know what? I wouldn't want to see it in sparring. I want to see it in the fight. And I know Ryan will do it. You know, Ryan has already done it. You know, he calls out Tang and he goes and fights him. He calls out Devin Haney and he goes and puts a beating on him. Ryan will do it. If he's calling out Vergil, he will fight him. You know, hopefully in the future they could do it. You know, Golden Boy could put it together. I would love to see. I would love to be part of it, because I like Ryan. You know, Ryan, he will dare to do stuff like that. He grew up in Southern California through the amateurs. You know, he's been to my gym for sparring and always giving me nothing but respect. And he said it himself, you know, I respect you, Robert, but, you know, it's just different. And there I do disagree. I really don't think he has a chance against Vergil. Honestly, I love him. My family always supports him every time he fights. My grandson cried when he lost against Tank. We all support him because he's from Southern California. But him against Vergil, he'll put up some good, a few good rounds and everything. But I think eventually he'll get knocked out.
Why do you feel that?
Vergil's just too big and too strong. Even though Ryan is so strong, especially that left hook, it's just different levels, man. I think at this point, Vergil's just a monster when it comes to his body, his power, physically, mentally. I think he's just too much for Ryan.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, I thought like the weight was like a little different, but the way Vergil explained it to me, he's like, hey, look, he's pretty much a welterweight now. That's just one weight division. Like, he's a big guy. He's always been a big guy. And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, you're right, actually. Like, it's not that big of a weight difference between them.
It's a very doable fight. And in the future, maybe next year after his suspension, maybe something that we could put together. It would be nice. I know Oscar will work on it, and they'll do whatever it takes to make it happen.
It's going to be a crazy fight. It's going to sell so much, bro, for reals.
Oh, yeah,
you got the stars are aligning a little bit for Vergil because he has this fight. If he wins, you got Fundora and Spence that are going to fight. And if the winner there, you would think he's always wanted Spence. So that's like another big fight that's already aligning for him. And then if he gets this Ryan fight, geez.
There's so many things at this division for Vergil. At the end, he always tried to become champion at welterweight. Things don't happen, but things happen for a reason. Now I think he's in a great moment. He feels great. He's doing great. His health is awesome. With all the new things, the doctors that he's working with, and everything, everybody's doing a great job. His dad, Charles Tremblay, is doing a great job. I couldn't get any better. So things happen for a reason. So now the future is just going to be unbelievable.
I mentioned it to Vergil. When I saw him, I noticed that his back and his shoulders are a little bit more wider, that he's filling out a little bit more. Ultimately, like, do you see him going to middleweight, to super middleweight? Do you think he lands somewhere over there at the end of his career?
Oh, eventually he will. 100%. Middleweight, super middleweight, for sure.
Yeah. Wow, man. So 3 divisions.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No doubt that he will be fighting in those divisions.
Good stuff, good stuff. Hey, Robert, ending note, who do you have in the gym? Who has fights coming up? Let us know.
Well, Saturday in Vegas on ESPN, we have Raymond Murataya fighting
Tevin Farmer, yeah.
Tevin Farmer, co-main event. And then on the same card, my next superstar, I'm telling you guys, Albert Chop Chop Gonzalez. That kid's going to fight on the 6-rounder. His first fight for Top Rank. Hasn't signed yet, but, we're working on that. I also have Art Barrera, who is also a tremendous power puncher, who's going to be on the card, and Javier Cimarron on that card. So 4 kids this Saturday in Vegas.
Yeah, man. You're always working.
Pretty busy, yeah.
Hey, Robert, good seeing you as always. Appreciate the time. Robert Garcia, Marcos Villegas here in Los Angeles.